and let me just say about Joe Biden, I have. Hello to all my Divine Nine brothers and sisters, and my sorors. And to all my HBCU brothers and sisters.
It's crazy to me my people are fight to keep nothing. They complain about not having shit, and you will never have shit. A black man said that. I got to fight you to do right by you. You know how exhausting that is? You know how hard it is to explain common sense to a robot? He looked like a human, she looked like a human, but this a robot. All these robots in my motherfucking comments, they never argue what the I say. They never argue with anything that I say. Just name call and I don't care. I'm black and I hope to God at the end of the day, all you got is black. I pray to God Kamala Harris win, so all you got is black, like you been having. The same shit you been having. Don't forget, Trump has only been in office for 4 years. And you about to blame the whole world on him. But not the people in office. Not the people currently in office. You black. I hope you wake up black. And that's all the you have for the rest of your life. It's black. It's crazy. I gotta fight against you to do right by you. I gotta fight you to do right by you. That's exhausting as
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I gotta tell you guys, I have some devastating news for Kamala and her campaign. As Kamala Harris is whipping out her new black accent, okay, or whatever accent she's using. As you guys saw at the beginning of this video, Kamala was at a Black Caucus event and she decided to talk to all her brothers and sisters, right, in the stereotypical accent that she likes to use when she's talking to black people, okay? But I think that the jig is up for Kamala Harris, okay? Because hopefully the American people aren't so stupid that they can't see through the fakeness and the phoniness of Kamala Harris and her campaign, okay? She's basically a fake Democrat nominee. Nobody voted for her. She uses a fake accent. She has fake rallies, right? Fake supporters, fake interviews. Everything is fake. Everything is fake about this woman, okay? Including her identity. And I think that we're really starting to see that the American people are just not liking Kamala Harris, right? Like they're not falling for the psyop from the mainstream liberal media that is trying to trick people into believing that Kamala Harris is actually a good candidate to be president of the United States, okay? Because Kamala Harris still is not getting the boost that she desperately needs going into October in order to catch up with the same numbers that Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden were polling at when they were running for president, okay? And we have to talk about a bombshell poll, and I mean absolute bombshell. You will not see the mainstream liberal media cover this poll, right? And one of the reasons why you're not going to see the mainstream liberal media cover this poll is because this was one of the most accurate polls, the most accurate poll of 2020, and one of the most accurate polls of 2022, in the sense that this poll basically was dead on about Joe Biden in 2020, and it was dead on about the GOP barely winning in 2022. And now fast forward to 2024, in September, post-debate, you have this new poll by Atlas Intel that is showing Trump up about 3 points over Kamala Harris, winning the popular vote. Okay, with 51%, the Harris is 48%. Now, I cannot overstate how much of a disaster this is for Kamala Harris. Okay, this is post-debate from one of the most accurate, if not the most accurate pollster in the country. Okay, they're saying that Kamala Harris is behind in the popular vote. Now, we know that Trump doesn't have to win a popular vote, okay, because of the way that the Electoral College shapes out. In fact, this poll would have Trump winning with a 99% chance, right, of winning the Electoral College. But we know he doesn't even have to win the popular vote. So the way you got to look at it is that as long as Trump at the national level, from the popular vote perspective, as long as he's within 1 or 2 points of Kamala Harris, then he has a decent shot of winning. If he's tied with Kamala or if he's outright beating Kamala, it's over, right? I mean, there's like no chance that Kamala can win under that scenario. So the fact is that the polls are super tight right now, much tighter than they were in 2016 and 2020. And we know that Trump overperforms when it comes to actual voting. Okay, he tends to overperform the polls. Yeah, Kamala's in trouble, right? She's in big trouble, right? To be honest with you, Kamala should not be losing in any polls right now, right? If she was doing well. But the fact that she's losing in some of these mainstream liberal media polls, right? Or she's not performing as well as Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton is a very troubling sign for Kamala, okay? What I also found to be very fascinating about this same poll is the impact of the debate on the race, okay? In the sense that all the voters thought that Kamala Harris did slightly better than Trump in this debate. However, that doesn't seem to have affected who they vote for, right? Which is something that I hypothesized about after the debate, in the sense that I told people, I was like, listen, the winner of the debate is not going to be determined by the mainstream liberal media. It's not going to be determined by me or anybody else that has already decided who they're going to vote for. The winner of the debate is determined by undecided voters, okay, and how the polls swing after the debate. And I said, listen, if the polls stay the same, where Kamala Harris has a slight lead, and in some polls, Trump is beating Kamala, right? If the race effectively stays tied, then Trump's the winner, right? Trump is the winner, okay? Now, if Kamala Harris starts to pull ahead and gets back to those Biden 2020 numbers or Clinton's 2016 numbers, then she won a debate. As of right now, it's looking like Trump won the debate, right? Again, as you can see, voters gave Kamala Harris a slight edge in the debate, but yet they decided that, hey, well, we're still going to vote for Trump, right? We're still going to vote for Trump, which, you know, this explains why Kamala Harris wanted a second debate immediately after the first debate, because they know that they did not get that moment, okay? Kamala Harris did not turn into performance to gain that support that she really needed in order to pull away in this election, okay? So basically Kamala Harris failed, right? She failed during the debate, okay? And now it is looking like Trump made a very smart move by coming out and already saying there will be no more debates, right? Because if this trend continues, right, if the race remains tied or Trump starts to pull ahead, okay, especially in these battleground states, then yeah, there's no reason for Trump to debate anymore, because he's in a good place to basically win the election, okay? And at that point, him debating would give Kamala Harris another shot at trying to knock him out of the race, okay? Trying to get that moment that she's looking for to help her win the election. And Trump at this point has basically said, no, I'm not going to give you that. And it seems like a good choice as of right now. Now, who knows? Things could change, okay? However, we do have some more polling from Trafalgar here, post-debate, in a couple of swing states like North Carolina, like Arizona. Trump is up, okay? Also in North Carolina, Trump is up as well too. And that's not even the worst news for Kamala Harris. The worst news is what's happening in Michigan, which until Trump decided to run in 2016 was a pretty reliably blue state, okay? And this year, this race is basically tied, okay? It's damn near even, with Kamala Harris slightly up. But if you look at some of these polls that have come out post-debate, this is not good news. You have Kamala Harris up +1, and then you have Trump up +1. And it seems as if Trump is tightening the race in Michigan, which is a terrible sign for Kamala Harris, because this state needs to be more solidly blue in order for Kamala Harris to feel comfortable about it. Also considering the fact that you have Jill Stein and, you know, some of the socialists there trying to take away votes from Kamala Harris. This race in Michigan is going to come down to razor-thin margins, and it is very possible that Kamala Harris could lose this state. She's not doing good in the Rust Belt. She is losing support in the Rust Belt. Pennsylvania is basically tied, right? And now you have Michigan that is headed into that same territory. Yeah, I think the Tim Walz pick kind of backfired, right? He doesn't seem to be helping out too much with his modern day masculinity, right? Which is how, they frame Tim Walz, right? He's supposed to help out with the Midwestern man. Turns out that the Midwestern man, a lot of them are probably straight, right? So they're being turned off by this Harris Walz ticket. That's what it seems, okay? So we got some good news overall for Trump. Nate Silver's forecast still has Trump with a 60% plus chance of winning the election, okay? So, hey, things are still in Trump's favor even post-debate, despite the fact that the mainstream liberal media was talking about how Kamala had the best debate performance of all time and Trump's debate performance was terrible. Well, it turns out that nobody really gave a damn, because what people actually really care about is not who's the best debater. They care about who has the best policies. And under Trump, we knew that the economy was good. So I think that voters just generally trust Trump more on the economy and immigration and the key issues. And this is why you're seeing Trump's support continue to be as strong as it's ever been, and Kamala Harris struggling to gain the momentum that she needs in order to pull away from Trump.
Let's talk about, let's refocus on one big issue, because it's going to come back into the spotlight next week, which is the economy. We've got the Fed very likely looking to cut rates for the first time since early pandemic days. What does that mean for this point in the campaign? Because it's a funky place.
Yeah.
You've got potentially a good sign that Kamala Harris can talk about, kind of quote unquote late stage change. But you still have Donald Trump killing her when it comes to the economy. In that snap poll after the debate, he was up 20 points on the economy, even though the vast majority said she won the debate.
Yeah, but don't forget, Romney versus Obama. People thought that Romney was better on the economy than Biden, than Obama. But people believed that Obama was going to fight for them harder. And so it's not just there are two things that are going on here. People might think, yeah, he might be better on the economy, but he's got to help the billionaires. He's not going to help me. So there's another set of numbers here that I think we're looking at, that she's doing a little bit better than she is on the bigger number.
And listen, the economy is objectively Donald Trump's strongest issue, but it comes down to, can he actually focus on that? Aides have put him up to give speeches focused on it, and he ends up diverting into all different directions. Hannibal Lecter, now we're on to eating animals. So can he keep selling that message, or is she going to start to eat into the support he has on the issue?
Look, every candidate has their strong points and their weak points. Economy weaker for her, abortion weaker for him. They're now in a tug of war over immigration. He's having to talk about dogs and cats to try to figure out some way to change the subject from the fact that he actually got in the way of a solution on immigration. It's now his border crisis. He doesn't want to talk about that, so he's making up lies, racist lies about Haitians eating animals. So everybody's got strengths and weaknesses. What you want to do is mitigate your weaknesses as much as you can, which is why he's flip-flopping all over the place on abortion, and you lean into your strengths. But what you saw in North Carolina yesterday was an extraordinary event. I mean, people were, for hours, 4 hours, the lines were like, I don't know, half a mile long, a mile long. People, there is an energy level there. So when North Carolina is back in play, because of what Kamala Harris is doing, he's got to be worried about that.
I'm really curious what next week brings in terms of the conversation around the economy, because I will say,
how do you see it?
I just think the response I have gotten to why isn't she doing better in the economy, or why wasn't Biden doing better in the economy, that I've gotten from administration officials and from Democratic electeds, it has been unsatisfying to this point, which is they just haven't gotten our message. And at some point, I'm asking, where's the expiration date on that reasoning? Because at some point there has to be. But
yeah, so Van Jones talks about North Carolina, except in North Carolina, just like in these other states we've talked about, Trump seems to be getting a boost post-debate. Trump in a few of these polls here, up 3, up 2, which is better than he had been performing before going into the debate, generally speaking. Yeah, so it seems like these post-debate polls are showing that Trump actually won the debate, right? Why do I say that? Because the winner of the debate will be determined how the polls move. Now, that's as of right now. That's as of the making of this video. Now, it could change. But what do I think is happening? What I think is happening is that, one, people are focused on the economy. People know what they're getting out of Trump, okay, versus Kamala Harris, they don't really know anything. The debate didn't help her because she didn't really explain what she wanted to do or how she was going to get it done. And people don't have a reason to trust her because she hasn't done any of these things, right? Although she's been in office. Also, on top of that, what I think is backfired is this obsession with the whole dogs and cats thing in Springfield. Because whether or not you believe the stories are real, it doesn't matter because people are Googling what is happening in Springfield. And they're saying, wait, they're letting Haitians into the country and then they're taking 20,000 of them and importing them into small towns, right? Do you think that's going to play well in the Midwest? You think that's going to play well in the South? No, I don't think that's going to play well. Okay, it's not going to play well with any of these rural parts of the country that Kamala Harris needs to be unmotivated to vote, right? Because they're not going to vote for her. Okay. So when you have stories like that and the mainstream liberal media is focused on it 24/7, boohoo, whine, and crown racism, people just tune that out. People tune out the whole racism stuff. But what they do see is that, okay, this story is true in the sense that this is happening. And this is not something that small town America is okay with. And this is the type of stuff that does motivate them to get out there and to vote, right? So while the mainstream liberal media is kiki and ha-ha about what Trump said on stage and running all these fact checks and doing all this stuff, the American people are seeing what is happening as a result of Biden's and Kamala Harris's border policies. And it's just a reminder of what we're going to get more of in this country if Kamala Harris is elected. So I really think all of this coverage from the mainstream liberal media about what Trump said about Springfield is backfiring. Okay, I don't think that Kamala Harris moved the needle during the debate. And you're seeing this kind of show up in some of these early post-debate polls where Trump is actually getting the boost here, right? But that's the opposite narrative that you're getting from the mainstream liberal media. And I find it to be fascinating. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.